Hedonism, the philosophical approach that was initiated by Aristippus, a student of Socrates, prioritizes the pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain as the highest good. This philosophy was received with mixed reactions. It was embraced by some due to its focus on the pursuit of pleasure, while others criticized it for promoting selfishness and short-sightedness. The central concept of hedonism, hedonistic utilitarianism, suggests that actions should be judged based on their ability to maximize pleasure and minimize pain. Key concepts of this philosophy include the notion of pleasure as the ultimate goal, the importance of subjective experiences of pleasure, and the absence of a universal standard for defining pleasure. Followers of hedonism, known as hedonists, seek personal satisfaction and happiness as their primary aim in life. This school of thought, deeply engraved in the annals of philosophical history, asserts that the ultimate goal in life lies in the pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain. Pleasure, according to this philosophy, is not just a fleeting sensation, but a profound and enduring state of being that we should all strive to attain. The impact of hedonism on society and culture can be seen in various ways, often manifesting in artistic expressions, literature, and lifestyle choices that prioritize pleasure and self-indulgence. The ancient Greeks believed in living life to the fullest, enjoying every moment with great intensity. Excessive hedonism can lead to societal challenges, such as the pursuit of instant gratification over long-term well-being. Critics argue that this philosophy encourages individuals to focus solely on their desires, disregarding the impact of their actions on others. Further, the pursuit of pleasure may seem more accessible to the affluent, introducing concerns about inequality. The possibility that the wealthy could exploit the less privileged to enhance their own pleasure raises ethical questions about the fairness of a philosophy that may disproportionately benefit those with financial resources. In the realm of philosophy, there are always two sides to the coin. As we journey into the realms of hedonism, it's clear that this philosophical tradition, despite its flaws, carries notable merits that have impacted our interpretation of existence and reality. However, it's noteworthy that the interpretations and ramifications of hedonism can differ greatly based on cultural, historical, and personal contexts. Like all philosophical ideologies, hedonism is intricate and open to interpretation. Despite its risks, it presents a unique viewpoint that has left an indelible mark on human thought and behavior. As we navigate the labyrinth of our complex geopolitical world, hedonism continues to remain relevant, with modern hedonists donning the armor of defense against criticism. They argue that pleasure is not solely derived from materialistic or superficial sources, but can be found in an array of experiences, from the intellectual to the spiritual, from the mundane to the extraordinary. These modern advocates emphasize the importance of ethical considerations and long-term well-being in the pursuit of pleasure, painting a picture of hedonism that is not just about momentary gratification, but about sustained happiness over time. They argue that hedonism, when approached with mindfulness and responsibility, can contribute to a more empathetic and understanding society. This is because it encourages individuals to seek happiness in ways that do not harm others, but instead foster a collective sense of well-being. In the face of criticism, modern hedonists continue to uphold the value of their philosophy, arguing that it offers a potent antidote to the stress and complexities of our contemporary world. As we delve into the world of modern hedonism, we find that sexual pleasure is highly esteemed, viewed as an effective means of self-expression and personal discovery. It's believed to possess the power to erase life's burdens and instill a profound sense of joy. This isn't solely about the act of sexuality, but euphoria and relaxation that follow. Anticipation, experience, and the calm after collectively form a potent stress relief mechanism. This could boost mental agility and ignite personal relationships with passion. The key takeaway is not unchecked pleasure-seeking, but employing sexual pleasure as a tool for stress relief and personal growth. So remember, when life's pressures mount, the hedonist solution lies in sexual pleasure. As we continue our exploration of modern hedonism, let's shift our focus to the economics of pleasure. Modern hedonists often bring to light the economic disparities that exist in the experience and pursuit of pleasure. They argue that individuals with limited resources often find more profound satisfaction in simple pleasures, such as enjoying a satisfying meal or engaging in basic recreational activities. This is contrasted against those who are economically well off who may constantly seek more extravagant and complex experiences to achieve the same level of satisfaction. This disparity, hedonists argue, highlights the relative nature of pleasure and its dependence on one's circumstances. For someone living from paycheck to paycheck, the pleasure derived from a well-cooked meal or a game of football in the park could be immense, as these moments of joy are rare and cherished. On the other hand, for someone with ample resources, these simple pleasures may not be enough to elicit the same level of satisfaction, leading to a pursuit of more extravagant and expensive forms of pleasure. Hedonists use this argument to underline the importance of appreciating simple pleasures in life and not falling into the trap of constantly seeking more. They also highlight the need for a more equitable society where everyone has access to sources of pleasure, regardless of their economic status. This perspective not only adds a socio-economic dimension to the philosophy of hedonism, but also encourages us to reassess our understanding and pursuit of pleasure. So the next time you find joy in a simple pleasure, remember that its value isn't determined by its cost, but by the happiness it brings to you. This is a key element of the hedonist philosophy. Pleasure, in all its forms and regardless of its cost, has the potential to contribute to our happiness and well-being. Hedonists often point out the stark contrast between the pleasure-seeking behaviors of the rich and the poor. Wealthy individuals, they argue, have a tendency to chase after increasingly complex and elaborate pleasures, often without finding true satisfaction. This could be due to the paradox of choice, where having too many options can lead to dissatisfaction or a lack of fulfillment. On the other hand, those with fewer resources often find profound joy in the simplicity of life. They derive happiness from basic, easily accessible pleasures, such as a shared meal with loved ones, a walk in the park, or the comfort of a good book. This, hedonists argue, is a more authentic and meaningful form of pleasure, as it is derived directly from one's experiences and not mediated by excessive material wealth. Imagine the laughter that fills the room during a gathering of friends, the joy of immersing oneself in a captivating book, or the serenity experienced during a walk in the park. These are all moments of pleasure that are accessible to us, regardless of our financial status. Yet our society often equates luxury and extravagance with happiness. We're conditioned to believe that the more we have, the happier we'll be. However, hedonism challenges this notion. It suggests that the constant pursuit of material wealth and luxury can lead to a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction. The more we acquire, the more we want. This endless striving can prevent us from experiencing the joy in the present moment. In the ever-evolving discourse of hedonism, a fascinating perspective emerges: mindful indulgence as a coping mechanism. Advocates of modern hedonism suggest that pleasure can serve as an antidote to the trials and tribulations of life. But how, you might ask? Well, the answer lies in the concept of mindfulness. Mindfulness, in its simplest form, is the practice of being fully present and engaged in the current moment. When applied to hedonism, this means consciously savoring the pleasures we experience, be it the taste of our favorite dish, the melody of a beautiful song, or the comfort of a warm bath. By fully immersing ourselves in these moments of joy, we can counterbalance the stresses and pains of life. This approach encourages us to view pleasure not as a mindless pursuit, but as a conscious act of self-care. It prompts us to redefine our relationship with pleasure, shifting from a reckless chase of fleeting joys to a mindful appreciation of the present moment. In doing so, we not only enhance our enjoyment but also create a buffer against life's hardships. By consciously seeking out and appreciating simple pleasures, we can cultivate resilience and maintain a healthier mental state. This doesn't mean ignoring life's challenges, but rather balancing them with moments of joy. In essence, hedonism, when practiced mindfully, can serve as an effective coping mechanism, fostering a more balanced and fulfilling life. As we dive deeper into the nuanced world of modern hedonism, we encounter an intriguing concept: the harmony of hedonism and well-being. Proponents of this view argue that pleasure-seeking doesn't have to be a reckless abandon. Instead, it can be a balanced, thoughtful pursuit that contributes to an overall sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. Imagine this. You've had a long, stressful day. You come home, kick off your shoes, and sink into the soft embrace of your couch. You pick up your favorite novel, a cup of hot tea steaming by your side. As you lose yourself in the narrative, the stress of the day starts to fade. This is hedonism in action, but it's also self-care. It's about recognizing your need for relaxation and pleasure and intentionally creating space for it in your life. But it's not just about the individual. Modern hedonists argue that this balance of pleasure and well-being can have profound societal implications. If we all begin to view pleasure as not just a self-indulgent pursuit, but a key component of our overall well-being, we could create a society that values and promotes balanced living. This could mean policies that prioritize work-life balance, communities that celebrate leisure and recreation, and a culture that encourages us to take care of ourselves, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally too. So, as we continue our exploration of hedonism, remember this: pleasure and well-being are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they can be two sides of the same coin, a coin that leads us towards a more balanced, fulfilling existence. A wealthy individual might derive pleasure from a luxurious vacation or an expensive meal, while a person of lesser means might find joy in simpler, more accessible pleasures. This disparity raises interesting questions about the nature of pleasure and its accessibility. If the experience of joy is inextricably tied to economic status, does this mean that pleasure is a privilege reserved for the wealthy? Or can we cultivate a society where pleasure in its various forms is accessible to all, irrespective of their economic standing?